Hi, my name is Lisa Degnan. Last year in 2023, January, I was diagnosed with invasive ductal carcinoma. In March of 2023, I had a lumpectomy with elective double breast reduction. And after surgery, my oncotype score was high, so it was determined that I would need to have chemo. That happened from May through July, and followed by 20 rounds of radiation plus a radiation boost. And I'm really blessed to be able to say that as of the end of last year, there was no evidence of cancer, and the doctor did say that I was cancer-free. From the medical team, I would love to thank Dr. Eng. She was the surgical oncologist that took the cancer out of me. Dr. Sykoff, the oncologist who made sure that I had enough chemo to blast anything that was left in me out. Dr. Heppel for radiation, to make sure that he radiated the spot and nothing else could potentially come back. And also Dr. Hoy for putting me back together, my plastic surgeon. The Women and Infants Infusion Center, I have so much gratitude for the work that they did, the compassion that they have, and the way they treated me going through chemo. It was pretty good. Going into the She Rose program, my hope and expectation was that I would have mental healing. The scars had healed, but I really needed to take some time to make myself better, put myself in a better place. We went through many exercises. The SCART painting, which really brought to light for me how dark I had been feeling, but also how much forward I had come. And then through the rest of the exercises, I think the one thing that really stands out for me is the people that were a part of the program, the community that I've built, the Pink Sisters that will be here for me for the rest of my life, and I for them for the rest of their lives. My first experience with Gloria Gemma was a phone call that I placed. I was really floundering and didn't know where to go for help, and someone had suggested that I give them a call. Maureen picked up the phone, and probably an hour after, I hung up the phone feeling as though I had been connected to a group of people that would take me through this very dark time. I started doing walks on Wednesday afternoons with Mandy. I did take a little bit of a break during chemo, but I kept going because I felt as though I had friends in that group, the walking group, that would keep me walking. And that was the goal, to keep me walking. The Gloria Gemma Foundation has given me so much, whether it was soup during the time that I really didn't feel like I could get up and cook, or the friendship of the people that work there. Maria is an amazing woman. Mandy is an amazing woman. And the entire group has made me feel like I've got a family outside of my core group of family. Do it. It's a commitment of time, but the outcome is something that will make you a better person. Advice I would give to anyone that is thinking about signing up for the She Rose program next year is just do it. People that I would like to thank: first, my core group, the love of my life, my husband, Bill. He's helped me to cope during the darkest hours and tried to keep me positive when I know deep down inside he was really frightened himself. There were so many nights that I lay awake worrying and needed to cry without anyone seeing, but he would silently grab my hand so I wasn't alone in this fight. The next group is my daughters, my best friends, Marissa and Allison. They keep me smiling and did everything they could to keep me from thinking of the hard things that were happening at the time. One example that I will share with you is before surgery, they had a core group party. It was a farewell to the bad booby party with all things pink. There were booby balloons, pink Moscato, and my favorite lemon cupcakes infused with limoncello. They never let me see their fear, but I know it was there. Although chemo happened before, during, and after my daughter's wedding, they did everything to make me feel beautiful. The next group, my son-in-laws, I truly hit the lottery with both George and Nick. They not only supported me and continued to support me, but they had to be there to support their wives, which they did and never missed a beat. I have a big Italian family with sisters who really carried out the family tradition of being there whenever needed. They made sure I was fed, that's another Italian custom, and that I knew that they were in the fight with me. I was never alone. My friends, endless phone calls, gifts, visits, I'm truly so lucky to have a large circle of besties.
Hi, everybody. I'm sitting here with Lisa Degnan. I got it right. How are you doing today?
I'm good.
Now, okay, we were just talking off mic, and you were just explaining to me a little bit about, what you've been through over the last year, which has been a lot. And I didn't realize that when you started the She Rose program, and what month was that for all of us?
We started, I believe it was in January.
Okay, January.
End of January.
And you were diagnosed just 3 months prior to that, or that's when you
No,
started?
it was a 1 year mark.
Year mark.
Yes, in January of 23, I was diagnosed. And I believe it was January of 24 when we started the She Rose program.
Yeah. And I know that this has been really hard on you, and that this is all very new, because some of the ladies have, are many years out. There's just such a variety of experiences. But I really feel like that your voice and what you've been through can really help a lot of other women who are new to the experience. And just, what have you learned in the year that you've been diagnosed, and what would you share with somebody else about what to expect or how to just hang in?
I think for me, it was the first is accept it. That was hard for me, but once I accepted it, I knew I could go on. I'm a planner, and I'm also one to quickly jump to solution. And I truly believe that I had the better solution sometimes than the physicians, but it kept me pushing. I think the pushing and carrying on, and like I had shared with you, Lisa, not taking no for an answer. If I felt as though a timeline didn't feel right, advocating for myself, whether it was in timing. One of the things that I never would have thought would be possible would be altering the dates of chemotherapy. And so as I went into the oncologist office and he developed the plan for me, the second round of chemo was going to happen literally 2 days before my daughter's wedding.
Oh.
And I said to him, then I think I might skip that round. And he was quick to come back with, no, this is a personal experience for you all around. And so just making sure that I was upfront with any concerns that I had or any important things. And I will tell you that the team worked with me. They worked with me on a couple of occasions to alter the chemo dates. And it didn't alter the effectiveness or the elimination of risk. And so I think that's probably the biggest thing is don't be afraid to speak up for yourself. Don't be afraid to bring your personal self to your visits. And know that when it's finally over, the treatment, the chemo, and then the radiation, you'll look back and say, for me anyway, it wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. And the way I can say that is because I'm here.
I had to chuckle. This is not just because you just were explaining that today was out of your comfort zone. So in a way, I feel like you're going to do the same thing. You're going to look back and go, okay, that wasn't as bad.
I probably will. Things are always worse when you're in the middle of the situation. I don't know that there's been anything that's been a hard hit to me personally that I haven't afterwards said, okay, that's an experience, you've learned from it, and now it's time to move on. That's who I am.
Yeah.
And so I think I took on cancer and treatment the same way.
Yeah, our minds, the fear and just the overthinking of things is often way more than the experience, right? And
it is.
Today,
anticipation.
You were nervous about getting in front of camera, and but ultimately, did it go okay?
It went okay. And you know what is behind me? Thank goodness. I'm glad for that. But no, and the folks doing the taping, honestly, are so patient and so gracious that they made it easy. They made it a lot easier than I thought it was going to be.
Well, part of the reason that we like to, I guess, offer that experience is a lot of that, I think, is for your friends and family. There is a dog under that door.
I hear sniffing, and it's right behind me.
Let me let him in.
Puppy. Oh, what a beauty.
That's all right. He owns the place.
Oh, apparently we're in the dog's room right now.
Yes, that's the dog's office. Super sweet. All right. Sorry about that. Okay, so what were we saying about this being difficult? Oh, okay. So part of the reason that we love to put everybody on camera, I think, is for the benefit of your friends and family. I know that for some people, they're very much an open book and they share everything. But I think there's a lot of people who probably been along on your journey, very supportive on the sidelines and wishing you the best and praying for you and, doing all the things friends and family can do. But also in many ways, when you're on the sideline, you're feeling a little helpless in that position because you would do anything for your friend or your loved one to feel better and have that joy back. And so for you to maybe give them a glimpse into your life, I think is healing for others and very informative and helpful for so many who know that cancer sucks, and we all want to see a better outcome and cure or solution. So
I loved that part. And so being able to, in a more public fashion, thank the folks that I'm closest to, my core group, and the people that...
So how was it expressing your story so that others can benefit from what you've been through?
I think that was my favorite part, being able to use this opportunity to publicly thank the people who I have thanked many, many times for their support, help, love, prayers during treatment year. But having them hear it and others hearing what I say about them, I think is really important. I hope that they hear it and understand the heart that is behind the thank you.
Yeah. One time I was so sick and I was home. Actually, I got COVID way back when, in the start of it, when everything was going on. And I lived by myself as an empty nester, and I hear ding dong, and a friend had left a gift basket on the front desk. She didn't come in. She didn't want to get sick. I broke down in hysterical tears because, she wasn't even one of my inner circle. She was just somebody in my life. And the fact that she would take the time to come over and do that, I just was so touched by that gesture. It was a soft blanket and I think some soup or something like that. But I'll never, ever forget that. And I know that's how you feel about your friends and loved ones who helped you, probably.
I do. And that same basket, I know exactly what you're talking for. I think it's called a spoonful of comfort. I received from, this is how far the outreach went. My oldest daughter had a core group of friends going through high school who she's maintained contact with, but she's, out of the house for years now, so I don't really see them all that often. But they sent me a basket just to let me know that I was thinking of them. The outreach was pretty amazing.
Yeah.
And so to be able to thank everybody is good. It feels good in my heart.
Yeah. So for anybody who's listening, we just want you all, everybody who falls into this category of those simple, sweet gestures, whether it's a text or a little gift. You don't have to give a gift. A text could be the gift, but it really goes a long way for somebody who's feeling isolated and lonely and scared and all the things that come with a life-changing, diagnosis.
5 words that are so impactful that can be done by phone or by text so that there's no reply or response required. I am thinking of you. Is so important. And those were the words that got me through the hardest times.
Absolutely. Well, with the Shira's journey, one of those being writing this story that we're about to hear, has there been any part of your experience that has left a mark, in a good way? I mean, I guess if it was bad, you could share that too.
So there were so many. I don't know that I could pick just one, but the one that stands out, I think the most, is coming into the program. I had expectations that I would hopefully get some mental healing, which is where I needed the healing. The physical scars have gone away. But I came in with that expectation and I left with so much more. The understanding by way of the visuals for the scar piece of it, of the dark place I was in, where I may have felt like I was okay, but didn't realize until I put paint to the canvas that I was in black and blue color scheme for the most part. I would say if I had to reassess where I was now, it would probably be a much, much lighter blue. I don't think I'm to the blue skies just yet, but in a much better place. And I owe a lot of that to the process, the connections. The people connections have been the strongest for me. I don't feel like I'm all alone. I feel like I can talk to folks and they understand what I've been through. They've been through similar and they get it. They get the fear. I've got a community of friends that have now become somewhat like family that I'm walking away with.
Yeah, I love that. Well, so how did you come up with the yellow brick road analogy for your story?
I am not a moviegoer, so people were talking about movies and songs and trying to come up with something that could be a good way to depict how I was feeling. And the only thing I could think through was back to my childhood watching The Wizard of Oz. It was a pretty big deal. We would watch it in black and white, but I had an aunt that had a color TV. And boy, was it spectacular when you could see it that way. But what took me here was the pit stops throughout this curvy road that took you to some very dark places. But at the end of each of the experiences, you were lifted up. And then towards the end, there's the total lift where you feel like you're out of the woods. And that's where it came from.
And along the road, you picked up some friends along the way?
I did. I picked up some friends. I had some hard times, but I picked up some friends and made wonderful memories. I don't think I could ever look back and say, cancer brought something good to me, but I can say the result of the programs that I've had after cancer have put me in a better place.
Yeah. And there was even a dog that came along the way.
There was even a dog, Everett. Shout out to Everett.
We'll call him Toto for right now. Well, I can't wait to hear your story. Navigating Life's Yellow Brick Road by Lisa Degnan.
Here we go.
I said your name right?
You did.
I don't know.
Here we go. So my earliest memories that had the greatest impact on my life are of family being the center of everything. One of the highlights I remember from my childhood is watching classic movies as a family, and my favorite has always been The Wizard of Oz. Although I had watched the movie several times, each time I still got frightened by the Cowardly Lion and marveled at how the Scarecrow would move around the way he did. And I was always envious of those ruby slippers at the end of the movie that seemed to have such beauty and power. To put it back, I was raised by parents of Italian descent, and they carried forward strong family traditions. In our house, as in many Italian homes, my mom was the person that kept the kids and the house in order. My mom was always there. She was there to celebrate my chorus recitals, and she was there to provide punishment when I skipped school and got caught. She was our biggest cheerleader and source of strength. I would come to realize this as I became an adult, and my mom became my best friend. She was always there to lean on, to get advice from when times were bad, and the first one to boast about our accomplishments. When I became a mom myself to two beautiful daughters, I understood the unconditional love my mom had for us and instinctively modeled her parenting style. My mom passed away at the early age of 73. I was devastated by the loss, and this was the first time I experienced a challenge I wasn't sure how to face. As a family, we struggled as we tried to navigate family life without the glue my mom provided to keep us connected. It made me realize that death closes a door that cannot be opened on this earth. This was the first curve on my yellow brick road. I grieved the loss of the most important person in my life and learned that every second of every day needed to count. I learned to use my strength to get into a smoother path that provided lots of happiness and accomplishments. I worked hard to give my daughters the same love and support I received from my mom, and I'm so proud of all they have achieved. I was even fortunate to find a soulmate, and our marriage has made my life whole. I know the direction I was headed in, and I had plans that were falling into place on a straight and clear path. But in January 2023, I woke up and felt a lump on my breast. I knew immediately what it was, since years ago my sister-in-law had breast cancer and had the foresight to insist I feel the lump so I would know how to identify a cancerous tumor. The weeks that followed made me numb, confused, and frightened. My daughter's wedding was just 5 months away. Without knowing the extent of the diagnosis, I feared the worst and felt like I was ruining what should have been one of the most important days for her. And I was also petrified that I would not be here for other important moments for both of my daughters. As the doctors explained the plan of treatment, I tried in my heart to see a straight path beyond cancer. But each step of the journey was met with the fierceness of flying monkeys, requiring additional scans, biopsies, and other diagnostic testing. The road became very windy with lots of scary hurdles to clear along the path. Initially, I was told surgery and radiation would be completed about a month prior to the wedding. But the tumor was found to be aggressive, and a 3-month course of chemotherapy was recommended, followed by a month of radiation to lower the risk of reoccurrence. This disappointment was overwhelming. But despite the bump in the road, I kept a smile on my face. I'm not going to lie, treatment was very, very hard, and this is still pretty raw for me since I just completed my chemo and radiation 8 months ago and have over 4 years left of hormone therapy to go. I still struggle silently with fear of reoccurrence. The guiding light of my family is helping me through. I know they are as afraid as I am, but they do not let me see their fears. The tables turned, and they have become my cheerleaders. From the fun, silly party in my honor the night before surgery, to the hand-holding through each chemo session, they made me smile. They made me fight harder than I believed I could. And they continued to be my source of strength as I navigate the post-treatment portion of this yellow brick road. I also have a 3-month-old grandchild now, which has given me even more to fight for. My family has grown recently with the addition of my Pink Sister community, who continually show me compassion, empathy, and share success stories to help with my struggle. My guess is that they do not realize how much they have positively impacted me. The love, laughter, and tears at times have taught me lessons that are invaluable to reaching my goal of living each second of every day in joy. Although I am still working on letting go of fear, I am having more good days than bad, and I allow myself grace if I slip into darkness for a bit. I feel I can see the Emerald City, and I'm ready to click my heels 3 times. However, my slippers will be pink instead of red.
That's a cute ending. So what are you doing today now that you've had this amazing makeover experience and you've got it? It's behind you now. What are you going to do now? You're going to go home?
No, I'm not. I'm going to join some of my Pink Sisters to head out and celebrate the joy of the day, let go of all the fear that we had for the day, and sit back and enjoy a meal and maybe even a cocktail.
They give you a high five for that. That is great. And then you can click your heels and go, there's no place like home.
Yes. And then I will be heading home right after that.
Well, I'm so glad you guys are taking advantage of this opportunity together. Go enjoy a day like that. That's amazing. And thank you so much. Listen, a year from now, you're going to listen to the story and you're going to be like, wow, come a long way. And you already have. I know this is new, but you're doing great. And I really am so glad we've got
Thank you, Lisa. This was really helpful. For me to read it out loud was really impactful. So thank you.
Thank you.